Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sasang Ji, I'm just going to go through the Katha of Shabad that I've been learning for the Shabad Katha initiative. I was meant to give this on the 11th of April, so apologies. Please forgive me for the lateness, and please forgive me for any mistakes that I might make. Slok Mahalla Pehla. Siha baja charka kahiya ina khawale ga. So written by Guru Nanak Dev Ji on Ang 144, Sri Gurdwara Sahib Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Siha baja charka kahiya. Siha means, it describes a tiger. Siha baja, a tiger, a falcon, an eagle, and a hawk. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that ina khawale ga. The Lord could make these animals eat grass. And when I think about this, I think these four animals in particular are apex predators, are known for their carnivorous behavior, are innately are carnivorous. So all four of these animals, if you take them from their natural habitat, wherever they are in the world, if you take a tiger from anywhere in the world, and it will hunt, kill, feed to survive. And the other three birds of prey as well, the eagle, hawk, falcon. And I think in India at the time, on the Indian subcontinent, when Guru Nanak Dev Ji wrote the Shabad, people in India and around that area were more likely than us in the modern day to actually to see and come into contact with and know about these and see these animals. So obviously, we know today that these animals are carnivorous. Look at the beauty of the Shabad. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying that these four animals, if the Lord willed it, he could make these predators eat only grass. And when I read the Shabad, my mind is just in complete awe, and it reminds, it's a humbling thing. And my mind is stopped and it can't move anywhere, and it just has to stand in amazement in front of the enormity of this Shabad, because for me it instills bharosa, faith, and when I read the Shabad, the creative power of the One, everything is in their hands. Everything that we think we know, God could flip it in an instant. Everything is in their hands as the drama unfolds within the One. And I believe that every creature, everything is being assigned a role that we believe. Just as we assume a tiger eats meat, hunts, and we know that's its behavior. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying that if the Lord willed it, he could flip it, he could invert it, and he could change it, and he could make these animals eat only grass. Gaha khan tena mas khawale e chalaye raha. Guru Nanak says that those animals that feed on only grass, Gaha khan, those animals that feed on grass, tena mas khawale, the God could make them eat meat. And Guru Nanak says that e chalaye raha, that if God willed it, he could set those animals into this complete different way of life, or this path. Nadia vich tibbe dikhale thali kare sagaha. Nadia is a river. Nadia vich, from within rivers. Tibbe dikhale. Tibbe means sand dunes. So tibbe dikhale. Dikhale means to bring to the forefront. So if God willed it, he could turn the rivers into dry lands. Thali kare asagaha. Asagaha means bottomless, very deep oceans. Thali is a desert. So if God willed it, he could turn the rivers into dry land and raise bottomless oceans from the deserts. Kira thap de patsahi laskar kare swa. Kira is a worm. Thap, it means to install or appoint. De patsahi means kingship. Laskar kare swa. Laskar is a fortitude, a multitude of armies. Swa means ashes. So if God willed it, he could appoint a worm as a king, and he could reduce the biggest multitude of armies to ashes. And when I read the line of this Shabad, I couldn't help but being taken back to a Saki that I read about Guru Nanak Dev Ji and the Udasis. And it dawned upon me the beauty of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. How not only through the Shabad do they enlighten you on the ways of God, but the way that they live their life was a complete truth. And this just one line takes me back to a Saki of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and the Udasis with Bhai Mardana Ji as they travelled to Baghdad and met with Pir Dastagir. And as Guru Nanak Dev Ji met Pir Dastagir, the Pir Dastagir asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji 3 questions. First was, if God exists and everything is a creation of the One, what existed before God? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji explained to Pir Dastagir that nothing came before the One, that the One is the primal Lord, and from the one primal Lord, everything came into existence, and everything in existence is a part of that seed of the primal Lord, of the One, Ikankar. And then Pir Dastagir's second question was, where does God exist? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji explained to Pir Dastagir that just as within a cup of milk exists butter, within every drop of within a cup of milk exists butter, but it can't be seen. Just as fire is contained within firewood, but it can't be seen, the Lord pervades the heart of every single living being and creature. And not only that, but it pervades the seas, the skies, the land, everything in existence. Is the Lord is pervading within it, and He's the seen and He's the unseen. But the third question, which is what reminded me of this Shabad, the Shabad reminded me of, was Pir Dastagir asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he said, what does God do? And after enlightening Pir Dastagir through these 2 answers to his questions, Pir Dastagir was sitting on a throne and way higher than Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, to answer this question, he said, I've enlightened you on two questions using the divine Shabad, which is God itself. And he said, to answer this third question, he said, what I'd like you to do is, what you should do, I feel that you're insulting the Shabad by being in a higher place and me telling you and enlightening you on the divine matters of God. And Pir Dastagir in his humbleness said, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, what should I do? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, what you ought to do is come down from that high place and to where I am, and I will come and sit on the throne. And Pir Dastagir didn't quite understand, but he was desperate to get the answer to this, the divine knowledge to this question that had been plaguing him all his life. So Pir Dastagir came down from his throne and came and touched the feet of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Matha Tekta at the feet of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji went and sat on the throne. And Pir Dastagir, in his excitement, said, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, please tell me, what does God do? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, I've just shown you what God does. He takes those that are low and makes them high, and He takes those that are high and makes them low. And sorry for going off on a tangent, but that Shabad is this Sasaki reminded me. I was reminded of it when I read this Shabad. I'll return to the Shabad. Jete ji jivale saha jivale take saha. Jete ji, all beings are alive by breathing. Jivale saha, all living creatures, all beings are alive by breathing. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Jivale take saha, that if the Lord willed it, He could keep us alive even without breath. Nanak jo jo sache paave, Tio tio de siraha, O Nanak, as it pleases the Lord, as it pleases the Lord, jo sache pav, as it pleases the true Lord, so are we sustained. Please forgive me, Satsang Ji, for any mistakes. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.